I've been using the iPhone 15 Pro Max for over 2 weeks now, and this is a really nice smartphone. It's everything that you could possibly wish in a phone, really. The question is this phone good enough to make me switch from my old and trusty 13 Pro Max? When I first handed it to my wife, her first reaction was like, wow, I mean, like, this is really, really lightweight. That's been one of the most striking differences from my old trusty 13 Pro Max, is how much lighter this phone is. And the battery life is really good. I can literally go for 2 days with a single battery. And I wouldn't class myself as a heavy user. I'm just a normal use of phone. I don't play games and I don't spend countless hours on my phone because when you have young kids, that's just impossible. So in that regard, the battery life, it's really good. You'll have no problems with this phone. And even if you are a heavy user, it will definitely last you way more than a single day. I do get the intended purpose for it, and you can either set one of the 10 default actions that the iPhone gives you, or you can map out to launch any app or any custom-made action that you want. And that's really, really helpful. I just only wish that there were more, maybe like 2 or 3. Now, the highlight for this phone is the cameras, and this is the reason why most people is gonna be upgrading to this phone or migrating from another brand onto the iPhone. And let me tell you one thing, the cameras on this phone are really, really good, but the main lens is still by far better than the ultra wide and the telephoto lens. They look absolutely amazing in bright daylight. The moment light starts to go down, the moment you go into a low light situation, these lenses are unusable. To get the best image quality on either one of these lenses, you need to stick to the default focal length that they give you, because the more you zoom in, the more the image gets degraded. It doesn't matter how you look at it. It doesn't matter how much they sugarcoat it. It doesn't matter how many reviews out there tell you otherwise. This is a phone where the main lens works great in all conditions. And the other 2 lenses, they work also amazing, but only in bright conditions. I had my reservations on the telephoto, and the image quality that you get on a bright sunny day or cloudy day, it's really, really good. It's surprisingly good. I've enjoyed using that lens probably more than the main lens because it's such a new focal length and you actually get a really good image quality. Again, as long as you are in ideal bright conditions. And one area that this iPhone is really good is the new Apple Log. For some people, that's gonna be a game changer. It's not quite log, it's Apple's flavor of log, but the image quality is such an improvement from recording on Rec 709. That's gonna be something that you're gonna notice a big difference, especially because you don't need to record on Apple ProRes in order to record in log. If you use the Blackmagic Camera app, you can record Apple Log on either H.265 or H.264. And that's gonna open up a lot of possibilities because you can then record Apple Log internally onto your phone or externally via the USB-C port. You are gonna notice a difference between filming in Apple ProRes compared to H.265, and not just for the sheer difference in file sizes, because you do have a lot more information. Now the question you need to ask yourself is, are you gonna need that additional information? Because when around 70% of people watch content on either smartphones or tablets, I don't really know how many people are actually gonna be able to tell the difference between something that's been shot on ProRes or something that was shot on H.265. I mean, Apple Log looks really, really nice. The downside of this though is that you still have the annoying lens flares. I don't know what coating they've put on these lenses or any coating at all. I just don't understand how they can pack so much technology into this phone and still have issues with lens flares. Here we are 10 years later. in 2023 and it's still an issue. And it's so off-putting when you're getting some really nice shot and then suddenly you get this annoying green dot coming across the frame, or several green dots if you have a lot of traffic. On the other hand, one of the things that Log has tackled is tone mapping, because that's one thing that was extremely annoying, and when you film in Apple Log you don't have to worry about that. And that's really nice because you are now gonna be able to capture images without having those shifts in brightness as you go from a dark area to a bright area. That's actually a very welcome feature. Gosh, finally, after so many years, they got their act together and they did that. You still have cinematic mode, which looks absolutely amazing. I just feel it's such a shame that they don't give you manual controls and they leave everything on auto, which essentially means that you can't really use it other than for just talking straight to camera, because the moment the camera moves, everything changes, the colors change and the exposure changes and you can't really use it. I love the fact that you can take photos and then apply the portrait mode after you've taken the photo. I think that's really good, and the separation between the person or the subject and the background, it's really good. It's still the main lens is by far the better, but if you film in the right conditions and the right environment and plenty of light, you're gonna get good images with either one of those three lenses. Another thing that is really good is the screen. You can see anything and everything at 2000 nits peak on outdoors. The image quality, it's fantastic, it's bright. Even on a sunny day, you can see the image. And I haven't experienced the dimming down that you get on all the iPhones when the phone gets really hot and it needs to cool down. That's been a pleasant surprise. I've been using it a number of times for rather long stints and the screen was always nice and bright. So that's actually been very good. And it goes without saying that the user experience is fantastic. The apps launch really quick. Everything is super fast. And the fact that it's so lightweight, it means that even though it's a rather large phone, it doesn't feel so hard to operate. When previous models, it's quite heavy. You genuinely feel the weight of the phone, whereas this one, it's so lightweight. I mean, this is really good. The question is this a good upgrade? Is this a good phone? Is this a good investment? Because these phones are not cheap by any means. And most importantly, is this enough to justify upgrading from my 13 Pro Max, which still works flawless, to the 15 Pro Max? Look, if you are a content creator that your main filming is your smartphone, this is a no-brainer. This is gonna give you amazing image quality. If you film in Apple Log, your footage is gonna look absolutely insane. If your smartphone is your main camera, this is a fantastic upgrade. The USB-C port and the flexibility that you're gonna get from it, because you can now record externally and keep everything organized, and you don't have to be worrying about transferring data rates and whether things go fast or slow. If your entire workflow revolves around your smartphone, this is a no-brainer. You're gonna be really happy. The image quality that you're gonna get it's the best there is. It's so good. Now, at a personal level, is this enough to take me away from my 13 Pro Max? And the answer is no, it's not. I mean, I love this phone. This is the best phone ever. I love every bit of it. It's really amazing. Don't get me wrong. I mean, this is amazing. But my 13 Pro Max, it's amazing too. It works. This is not just about upgrading for the sake of upgrading. This is somewhere between $1,200 to £1,800, close to $2,000. So this is a fair investment. I film with Canon cameras. I have two of these little cameras with lenses. I have small lenses and bigger lenses. I have an Action 4. I have a drone. I have a Pocket 2. I have a Pocket 3 coming. I have more cameras that I can use. And I was looking back to how much content I've shot on the 13 Pro Max over the last 2 years, and also looking at the work that I'm going to be doing, the work that I'm getting involved with, and it does not require using a smartphone that often. That doesn't mean that this is not an amazing phone, because it is. And it doesn't mean that the image quality is not good, because it is. It's an amazing image quality, but I am not going to take advantage of that. I am not going to use it. It's a lot of money that is going to be sitting in my pocket doing nothing, that my 13 Pro Max is just as good. And also the cost of living is so freaking high, and my channel is not making enough money to justify me updating my iPhone every year and spending $2,000. I'm sorry, but that's just not gonna happen. Because when you are a parent and you have kids, there is a certain level of financial responsibility. So this is a luxury that I want, but I don't need. And because of that, I'm returning it. If you have a workflow around your smartphone, if everything that you do involves an iPhone, and you don't have cameras with lenses, and you don't have that need, then this is an amazing investment. Apple Log is so good. I mean, I've been battling for 2 or 3 days with the idea, but I've arrived to the conclusion that, to me, at a personal level, and this is my case, which may be totally different than yours, my 13 Pro Max, it's still a fantastic phone that does amazing for what I need. And on that note, I hope you enjoyed this review. Hopefully I've given you a different angle. Maybe you've learned something new, and I'll see you in the next one.